For calls cases of the people versus Nathaniel Pelker.
Nicole Hughes on behalf of the people.
Mike Gaddy, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Pelker, Your Honor.
And are they here?
Yes, Your Honor.
I did.
He's a dial-in. I got him.
Oh, I see him.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, I've had a chance to talk with Ms. Hughes and Mr. Pelker. I believe that Ms. Hughes and I are in agreement. I'd ask the court to adjourn this matter maybe 3 weeks. I'd like to have Mr. Pelker. I'd like to continue talking with Ms. Hughes and have Mr. Pelker talk with Ms. Williams in our office. That is ongoing, Judge.
I have the 26th. You want 3 weeks out? I have the 26th or August 4th.
I would prefer August 4th. That way it's almost assured that I'll get the case again, Judge.
Agreed. Thank you.
I don't know how happy that makes you, but
You notice I didn't respond. Miss Hughes is much nicer than I am, so she. August 4th, 2022, 9 a.m. Bond continued in these matters.
and Your Honor, we've been talking about bond. If I do need to motion that up beforehand, I'd ask that I be allowed to do so.
You've been talking about bond?
Mr. Pelker and I and Ms. Hughes have briefly, maybe a little more than.
Mr. Gaddy has made a request of me or has let me know he's going to make a request. I would be more than happy to argue this on the record right now, frankly.
Okay, we can do that, Judge. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Your Honor, I'm just asking that Mr. Pelker's been on house arrest for a good while now. I don't think there's been any violations at all. He does work. He is gainfully employed in his family's cleaning business. I was just gonna, my request is, I'm aware of these charges and the conduct alleged both after the arrest and while he was in jail. But he has been, like I said, he has not violated once. I'd ask that he be allowed to work outside the home from 8 to 4, mostly in the Lucas County, Ohio area. He does reside in the southern part of Michigan. I believe it's in Monroe County. He would not need to come to Washtenaw County to accomplish this work. It is a cleaning business, a home cleaning business where they do have, they're contracted a lot to do cleaning work in between owners. So if I buy a house, they clean it before the new family moves in.
Ms. Hughes.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people would be adamantly opposed to that. This is a case where my office appeared at the defendant's arraignment and put on the record that if we could have legally fit him into the no bond statute or portion of the court rule, that's what we would have been requesting. Because he didn't actually fit into the no bond section, my office requested 100,000 surety, and I'm at this time renewing that request. This is a person that belongs in custody for the safety of our community. As you can see, he's charged with multiple home invasions that he committed on the same date within an area that was close to one another. The houses were like kitty corner and then around the corner. He broke into multiple apartments in one evening and he assaulted multiple people as he forced his way into their homes. He actually went on to sexually assault one of the people that he had broken into their home. He was able to pull that man's pants down and actually get his hands into the man's underwear and grabbed onto the man's genitals after he had forced his way into the man's home. At his arraignment, we requested that he remain in custody and we requested 100,000 surety. Despite our request, Magistrate Fink ordered 15,000, 10% and a GPS tether and home confinement, which in my opinion is far short of what is required in order to keep our community safe. So at this time, I'm renewing that request and at the very least asking that this court deny the public defender's motion. I should also state for the record, the defendant's guidelines are prison. His guidelines at the bottom are 72 months in prison, up to 120 months in prison.
Your Honor, I don't want to get into the scoring, and that's not how I score it. I don't see any reason to change this bond higher. Mr. Pelker has complied meticulously with all court orders. To come back and request that now simply because he's asking for permission to work is ludicrous. He's been, I believe, on this tether in this home confinement for at least 6 months while we were going through a competency issue, Judge.
A second, I'm trying to find the original bond form. Which one of these came first? So, because it's different. First. I don't know why. I can't see. I had reduced the font from this one, G character, so confinement. All right. I understand the circumstances of the case as explained by both parties. To be honest with you, I'm not clear on the first case why the bond was set so low, and quite frankly led this court to probably do something in a subsequent case that maybe this court wouldn't have done, knowing all of the circumstances.
Your Honor, if I could,
Yeah.
it was a case. I believe that the home confinement was ordered by Your Honor after the initial bond was posted. I believe it was Ms. Reiser was in court for that hearing, and the court did order home confinement, and he has since been. Like I said, his compliance with the court's orders has been, to my knowledge, there's not been one violation since. So,
Well, I guess my concern is this, and I understand you're looking at it in terms of him working, but the reality is, and to a certain extent, I agree with Ms. Hughes, this person probably should have been put in custody from the outset and remained in custody. The very fact that then he's out and then I tether him is at that juncture the best that this court can do at that point, in being tempting to try to be fair. The problem I have is the defendant, and this is not his first time coming before this court, asking that his bond be changed so that he can freely move about, and I'm just not going to do that.
I understand, Your Honor. I'll withdraw the request
Because quite frankly, he really should be in. I mean, I don't know that I agree with necessarily the prosecutor's number, but I am not clear that he should have ever been released given the nature of the charges. So, but I also am well aware that I'm in a circumstance where he's been out on a GPS and he hasn't violated the GPS, but I also, and I'm not necessarily making disparagements regarding the defendant, but I also know how individuals like this work, if at least as I see it on paper, and that is that they ask for a little permission, and then next thing you know, we have something wholly different than what they described at the beginning. So he's staying right where he is. He will exist on the home confinement. And, you know, I understand him making the request, but I will tell you that even his requests make this court nervous that he's going to do something.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So motion for bond reduction denied. Bond will continue as that.
Thank you, Judge.